Another bit of Nottinghamshire heathland. But where is it? This is Rainworth Heath. We're going to do a bit of grubbing. And as it's in Nottinghamshire, it's noisy. With the Rainworth bypass, which is through there. You won't see the odd car, you'll certainly be able to hear them. But this is a great little bit of heathland. It's very different to other areas like Budby South Forest, Sherwood Heath. It's a good little site, and there's been some good stuff. This is the only site, not this particular bit of it, but this is the only site I know of currently for hieroglyphic ladybird, which made several attempts at refinding again earlier in the year. So as I'm here and all that, we'll have a look. But one species I particularly like to find is a bit of an enigma really in Nottinghamshire. And if the records weren't by well-known entomologists, you would perhaps question their identification skills. The harvestman in question is Paralygolophus medii, and Rainworth Heath is one of two sites for which there are modern records. I think it was 2008, and the record was by Howard Williams, who for many years was the county recorder for spiders and harvestmen in Nottinghamshire. And there's one Sherwood Forest record for Sherwood Heath, and that was about 2006. Might have been a couple of years earlier, and that's for Sherwood Heath. Now Paralygolophus medii likes dry heathland. This place is very dry, especially up on the top, the upper part here. It does drop down where it was down, but according to the Spider Recording Scheme website, this is a harvestman that is associated with heather growing in grass. It's not going to be big. I've looked for it many times before to no avail, but Howard Williams' record here was on the 15th of September. So who knows? We're approaching 15th of September, only a couple of days away. You never know, you look. One thing I like about this place is that its terrain is varied. Got this higher area where you'd have to drop down to access the grassy heathland area over there that you can see in front of the trees, and it's straight on sandstone. Look here. I don't know of anywhere else, heathland wise, that has this in Nottinghamshire. And all this where the erica and the calluna has grown over, it's great for lifting up, giving it a shake and seeing what drops down. There's been one or two nice little inverts that have dropped down here, And that's the way we're heading. Down there, and then across there to try and have a look under some of the heather in the grass. Colourful, isn't it? I'm in the opposite area to where I showed you. Actually, I'm still under the power lines which run right through here on the whole site. And this is one section I've never been in. Never looked as promising as the other side. The other side's got a load of Hebridean sheep in it at the moment, so rather than disturb them or get accused of disturbing them, I'm having a look round here. And a bit of brightness in the sky. It's been dull and gloomy all morning. Don't think we've actually had any rain. We had a bit overnight, but it's quite pleasant. Yeah, just grubbing around in a bit of heather and found this little chap. And this is the rather colourful caterpillar of the beautiful brocade. Funny enough, got one of these at home that been rearing from one found on Budby. Didn't realise what it was until it had changed skin a couple of times. But this one is full grown. And interesting how sort of really green around the head look and the prolegs. And you've got that pale cream coloured stripe, and then you've got these markings on the back. These little dashes of, well, sort of a reddish brown colour. And they feed on heather, and both Kaluna and Erica. And the moth is really attractively marked. Very nicely marked. And this is your typical heathland habitat that beautiful brocade likes. So, without further ado, we'll plonk it back. It loves me. Oh, something does. And there we are. The caterpillar, full-grown caterpillar, the beautiful brocade. It's a really nice heathland species. A nice record for here. Don't know whether it's been found here before or not. Struggling to find any harvestman. In fact, I haven't seen a harvestman. I've not found that much. And things are definitely changing. Because the ant nests that are found that have been at the base of heather are largely deserted. A lot of the ants have gone to lower depths already. Now, I don't think that's because of the cold, because it ain't cold. The only thing that can be really, it's probably because of the dryness, because I wouldn't expect them to go down yet before, yeah, this time of year. But, that's all right. A tiny spider. I've not come across any common harvestman, no Paralygolophus agrestis, and certainly no No medii. We shall try elsewhere. It'd be a lovely sight. If you want for the power lines, they do take the edge off it, don't they? But alright, I mean, that'd be a lovely picture. I'll print it off and put it in my scrapbook. This side has not got the sheep in now, but it's obviously just been grazed and the sheep have been moved across the way. But it's a real struggle to find anything. There's nothing under the heathers. So it might be a case of looking at some tree trunks. And I love looking at birch trunks. Fabulous bark, silver birch. Good grief. I thought through it. Just looking at this here, presuming it's a sawfly. It's not what I first thought it was. I'll have a look. Well, unfortunately, that was one that got away. There was an element of it being my fault, I must admit. But it was actually what I thought it was initially. A species that I'd not seen before, and it was the wasp nest beetle. And it was Metoicus paradoxus, something like that. And as you may be able to gather, it is associated with the larvae developing wasp nests, and occasionally the adults can be found in houses if wasps have nested in attic spaces. So presumably there's obviously been a wasp nest somewhere close. No photographs, unfortunately, just a little bit of video. Just shows all of a sudden things can turn, fortunes can turn. So I'll have a look along the rest of these trees. Bit of a breeze now. Well, someone here on work experience up for the Notts Wildlife Trust. Must be a bit deaf. Shame about the one that got away. My fault, I suppose. Should have just potted it up and took it straight home. Because I don't think there are many records of that beetle. Still, yeah, I can brag about that one and tell the classic fisherman's tale of the one that got away from Rainworth Heath. And I think it's time for a bit of snap and a pint.